I had something happen to me yesterday during that Dolphin game that has legitimately never happened to me before in the history of covering the Dolphins. When Tua slid in front of the first down, didn't get the first down, needed a yard, got half a yard, and then they had to punt, the next 10 years of football flashed before me because when he wasn't athletic enough to get a first down that required half a yard, I thought to myself, at least Drake May and Josh Allen aren't at the top of the division with their athleticism. It's legitimately never happened to me before where I'm watching something, I'm like, oh my God, that is not good enough for whatever evolves in this sport. Never mind the division. Whatever evolves in the sport, he's run 20 times this season. He's got one first down. Barry Jackson had that stat last night. To run 20 times means you have a quarterback who cannot get you out of trouble under any circumstances while in a division with quarterbacks who are wildly athletic that you're going to have a hard time catching up to if the sport changes much more. The game last night was frustrating to watch for a number of reasons, not just because the Dolphins lost. I am so tired of nobody throwing it down the field, like just throwing it to tight ends, throwing it to running backs. But how does Aaron Rodgers at 41 look more athletic than Tua?
Because he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Most quarterbacks
Took him
are.
out for sneaks, dude.
The thing that they did with Aaron Rodgers that was funny, trying to build the mythology around him, because I was frustrated by that game, the number of tush pushes, 3rd and 1, push your way twice with a 311-pound tight end to get a yard, just waste my time, waste the season. And the watching of this season has been a waste of time to anybody who cares about football in South Florida. But the way they tried to frame Aaron Rodgers, the wording that they used, Aaron Rodgers is standing 10 feet behind the line of scrimmage. He's got nothing to do with the play. He's watching it the way the rest of us are, and they say, there's Aaron Rodgers doing his thing.
It was great.
What do you mean that's him doing his thing? He's just standing there watching. He's a spectator like the rest of us. They also, one time that he did it, called him a gunslinger. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's throwing 50 times to Gainwell and his 10 tight ends.
And the best part of that was his hands were in his pockets, staying warm. So had there been a fumble right in front of them, his hands.
Well, he's
were in
only
his
got
pockets.
one good hand. He can't even do anything with the other one.
There was a sequence in which there was a small button hook route that would have been a first down, and Aaron Rodgers short hopped it moments after screaming at the sideline about how they got the play in. I was like, there's Aaron Rodgers doing his thing.
How much do you guys love Darnell Washington? It took 6.
He's electric.
It took 6 Dolphins to bring him down.
Crazy.
He's still listed as 267. They put him at 267. He's 50 pounds heavier
He's
than
3
that.
bills easy. Is how bad that game was. I was just watching him a lot, and let me tell you, Adam Thielen, masterclass in wide receiver blocking. It was unbelievable.
Would you agree with me that the best number for a big giant guy to wear is number 80? That you've got 2 round numbers and it fits on a 311-pound person better than any other number. Maybe double zeros would be better, but the number 80.
69 slaps.
One would be funny.
I can't do 80. It's a wide receiver number in my mind. It's just Jerry Rice. I can't get it out of my mind.
Best 80 for the Dolphins? Irving Fryer.
Farrell Edmonds.
Wasn't Joe Rose number 80?
Big
I think
dog.
he was 84.
I think he was, actually.
Was he 84?
I think
He was 8. No, I thought he was 80.
It's good. I think Zaz might have this right. Can you look this up for me? I can't remember. I'm terrible at this. I'm really bad at uniform numbers, but I think of Joe
Famous
Rose.
number 80.
He was number 80?
Oh.
Wow, you really insulted Joe Rose by going to Irving Fryer and anybody else other than Joe Rose.
Irving Fryer was so good with the Dolphins. What are you talking
Joe
about?
Rose is
For
an
2 years.
institution. If I said Irving Fryer, legend locally or not a legend?
No, not a legend.
Not a Dolphin legend?
Not a Dolphin.
Joe Rose is a legend.
Is
Yeah.
Irving
Yeah,
Fryer.
but Joe Rose is a legend because of his radio
Yeah,
career.
Irving
Right.
Fryer was much better on the football field for the Miami Dolphins than Joe Rose was.
I think Joe Rose's greatest season was about 350 yards at tight end.
Irving Fryer was pretty good for that day and age.
He was very good
yeah.
for the Dolphins.
If he's not a legend, he's a luminary.
Not for long, though. What, 2-3 years at most?
Yeah.
345 yards for the big dog.
But Zaslow has said that he's a legend and that Irving Fryer is not a legend. And so if someone's a legend and wore number 80, then he is the most legendary number 80.
No. He's not wearing number 80 leaning into a mic. He's better at radio than he was at football.
Good point.
Irving Fryer had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. That's pretty good.
He had a couple of seasons with a lot of touchdowns, too, didn't he? Didn't he have one season? I remember
his first year with the Dolphins. That was awesome.
Guys, Brian Hartline had a couple 1,000-yard seasons.
A different era.
In 93, he had 1,010 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 94, he had 1,270 yards and 7 touchdowns. And then in his third season with the Dolphins in 95, it was 910 yards but 8 touchdowns before going to Philadelphia, where he caught 11 touchdowns the following season.
Fred Barnett trade.
3 seasons, not a legend.
Chris, are you aware of where Brian Hartline is now? You are aware.
Follow the news, Dano.
Better coach than player. Easily, right? We can
Better
all agree?
recruiter? I don't think we know about coach yet. We know he's a good recruiter.
He's coaching him up.
But you want to share with the audience the whereabouts?
South Florida.
Brian
A Bull.
Hartline.
Dan's beloved USF Bulls. Loves everything that's in Tampa.
Don't they play? They play tomorrow, don't they? Doesn't South Florida? Is the bowl season's about to kick off? Is it not?
Yes, it is.
I saw that the coach, the interim coach for Michigan, said that the players feel betrayed by the Sharon Moore story. He was quoted at the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, and I learned his name then. It's a terrible name, Biff Poggi.
Have you seen what he looks like?
You know about Biff. Google him.
Have you
You've
seen what he
this
looks
guy
like?
Before.
Biff Poggi.
Yeah, you've seen this guy
names.
before.
At Le Batard Show, can you be great athletically, or can you be a champion athletically if your name is Biff with 2 F's at Le Batard Show? So let's talk about the end of this Dolphin season and the problem of architecture that they have, because if you cut Tua today, it will hurt you just as much as if you keep him all of next season against the salary cap. It's the same amount.
This is such an easy decision. I don't understand why this is a thing where it's, if you cut Tua, it's $56 million. If you cut him, it's the same amount of money if you keep him. Great. If you have a bad player and it costs you the same amount of money to have a bad player on your team as it would to not have a bad player on your team, wouldn't you always pick to not have the bad player?
Not if you're in transition next year and it's a bad quarterback class this year.
Yes.
It's a bad quarterback class. Your solution next year won't be better than Tua. It's not saying much. Just
get whatever veteran off the scrap heap for $10 million.
Okay,
Really?
you want
Rivers.
You want Minshew?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
Come on.
Phillip Rivers. Do me the favor, Jeremy. I don't know the backstory. I have heard over my life the phrase "old man river." I don't know where it comes from. I don't know anything about it other than a phrase. Does anyone here know the phrase "old man river"?
I know it was a famous song. I don't know the origin of the phrase. Maybe the song popularized the phrase.
Please find out for me, because Phillip Rivers, obviously a ridiculous selection. And Zaz, I think you're being sports radio short-sighted. Any veteran is better, as if you could just go get Kirk Cousins and feel better about your bandage next year than the one you presently have to pay anyway.
Greg Cody is right.
Yeah.
From the musical Showboat, with music by Jerome Kern and lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein II.
Dan, how
legend.
can you expect to ask fans to pay their hard-earned money to come to games next year and you continue to throw Tua out there? That's why you get rid of him
Sure,
and
Zaz.
just pick someone up off the street.
Okay, but when he's decent, he's decent.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's
Thank
the
you.
issue. Okay, yes, his peaks are very, very low. But his like, what he can do when everything is clicking got him best completion percentage in the league.
He's
passing
not that
leader.
quarterback anymore,
isn't.
though.
He isn't,
He's
dude.
not that guy.
Just
This is a different player.
As an independent, every time that guy dropped back, it was a disaster, and it would fool box scores too. Because if you see the stats, you're wondering. I fell asleep during that game. I thought the quarterback play was so poor on both sides. I actually left that game thinking Phillip Rivers is better than both these
He had
guys.
60 yards in the third
Every
quarter.
time that dude dropped back, you were fearful of a disaster.
He was sacked a bunch of times last night, but the IQ is so low now. The decision making is so unbelievably low.
It's fair to question what's happened to his brain.
It's like there was a play yesterday late in the game, right, where Aaron Rodgers, and granted, Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever play the game, but there was a play where Aaron Rodgers, instead of throwing the ball away as he was about to be sacked, he decided to fall down so that the clock would keep running.
Literally cost me my fantasy season. We don't have to get into that.
Because, hey, this is a good thing to even take the sack but have the clock running. And the possession right before that, when the Dolphins are trying to conserve time, which, I mean, maybe they didn't really know that because they were huddling, but you would want to conserve time. And Tua, he's rolling out, and instead of throwing the ball away to stop the clock, he takes a sack.
Let's be honest. He's done. Yes. He's done.
This isn't like, hey, you think Tua's good over here. I think Tua stinks over here. This is not the same player the previous 5 years.
So Zaslow last night on Twitter says we're watching the worst starting quarterback in the entire league. Get rid of this guy. He's completely cooked as an NFL quarterback. Here are some stats. He's 0-6 in temperatures below 40 degrees. He's 3-12 in his last 15 games against winning teams, 3-12. And in 7 of those, half those games, he hasn't gotten to 20 points. And as Tony mentioned, the stats at the end of the third quarter, 6 for 10, 65 yards, 1 interception. And the interception was him trying to throw the ball down the field, and just a terrible throw.
It was a bad throw.
Bad decision and a bad throw, and it fluttered. It seemed like his arm strength was affected by whatever the cold was. Like the ball started waffling as if you were skeet shooting, and it just hit a quail. Like the ball just didn't go anywhere and was easy to pick off. And now he leads the league in interceptions with 15.
And here's one more. All 15 of his interceptions have been against zone defenses. That's a big problem because when you see that stat, you throw a zone defense at him. But
and to add to that right there, like I'm not some football expert, but to me that feels like that's a QB who doesn't know what he's seeing then.
Okay.
If it's right? Am I right about that?
Well, they kept giving that stat last night. I did not know that stat before last night, and they kept giving the stat last night. I will also add to this, Jalen Waddle is a number 1 draft pick. Like, there have to be ways to get a number 1 wide receiver more than 2 catches in a game, unless by design you're so scared of your quarterback throwing the ball down the field that you're just going to throw to Achane, and then spend the fourth quarter throwing to Waller. But Waddle, the amount of investment that you made in Waddle, both financially and where it is that you selected him, if he's not a bust, he's pretty close to it for where it is that you drafted him. I know he had trade value, and I know they didn't want to trade him. But in the present confines of what they're doing, Jalen Waddle is not someone you can trust to be any kind of game breaker. First of all, he drops the ball too much. But a number 1 receiver, show me all the number 1 receivers in the league who go 2 catches for 20 yards. Any time.
A.J. Brown,
yeah.
Yeah, he's had 3 straight 100-yard games.
No, it happens, and we're getting to the point with Waddle where Waddle's kind of impressed me a little bit this season. I know he does a thing where he pulls himself out of games, but it's gotten to the point with Waddle where how am I supposed to evaluate this guy fairly with this quarterback who is so dreadful?
I just hate that we're all judging Tua based on this one terrible season. If in the next 3 games he looks better than he has all season, that counts too.
Oh, but why would that?
Yes,
why
I
is
agree.
that going to happen?
No, if he looks like the best quarterback in the league for his next 3 starts, I'd be like, well, hold on a minute.
Why would you think that's going to happen?
Because that's what he's playing for right now. See, Tua has become the underdog, the long shot. If you like that kind of a story, all of a sudden Tua is your guy because you're rooting for him. I don't disagree.
That's fantasy land.
I don't disagree that he's had a terrible season. It's his worst season of his NFL
career.
Greg,
you've got to give up on him. You think this is correctable? You think the things that he's talking about, where Mike's saying it's fair to question his brain, Zaz is saying that you simply cannot trust him. He's the worst quarterback in the league, and you're pointing out that he's thrown 15 interceptions more than anyone in the league, all against zone, which require decision making.
Right. No, I'm not excusing this season. I'm not.
You're saying it's fixable, and I don't think anyone thinks that.
Well, what I'm saying is, and I wrote this in my column in the Herald, I've been one of his biggest supporters. Okay, and he's losing me.
I have two, by the way.
That's how bad he's
I
been.
have also. I have
Okay.
been one of his biggest
Right.
supporters.
He's lost all his supporters. Joe Rose was supporting him all at the start of the
What do
season.
you support? He's
Everyone is out
terrible.
on him. I don't know anyone still defending him at all.
I saw a stat during the game that the Dolphins, the last 16 third and 10s, have completed 0. Okay, they've had 0 conversions of third down and 10 or more and 16 tries.
Right.
That's insane.
Well, that was the problem in the first half. That's why they're down 28-3 or whatever the score was, because they couldn't make a third down, and that's on Tua, right? He had a terrible game, and the fourth quarter inflated his stats and his rating and made it seem statistically like he wasn't the problem.
Greg,
He was the problem.
I know that this is somewhat redundant that we've done this, but I will tell you the last time I saw something in my own opinion making that feels like what you're presently doing with Tua and have been doing it all season. When Wanstedt, the first couple of seasons, was 11-5 and 10-6, I'm like, you can't fire that. You can't fire 11-5 and 10-6. You can't. Everybody was howling about it. Then 4-12, they don't have a quarterback, and I'm too late. I didn't have any vision whatsoever. You sitting here holding on to Tua, and frankly, the Dolphins sitting here holding on to Tua gets in the way of anything in the way of progress if you think this is fixable. This is not fixable. Like he cannot do anything
There, just stop right there.
other than throw the ball sideways and behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
It's
no mobility, no arm, no situational
That's a bad
awareness.
problem, the mobility
Yes,
thing.
it is.
That's
All
terrible.
of it.
No vision.
No, I'm not excusing
What are you doing?
the season he's had. I'm saying Tua next season versus what is the alternative? Zach Wilson? No thanks.
No,
I don't think so.
The alternative's moving on. That's the
It's
alternative.
it's just closing the book there. It's not a great quarterback draft class, but there are going to be some quarterbacks available.
Right.
Make a move.
And by the way, please laugh more on the sideline with the camera on you, down 28-9. Please chuckle it up. You know what? The only thing missing when he was laughing on the sideline there, down 28-9, give him a microphone so he could yell to everyone, "Show me the money." Laugh some more.
Are we sure he's not, like, sobbing?
I watched the play. Somebody must have said something hysterical to him. Laugh it up, Tua.
You can be screaming in pain, maybe, like giving a nice little war cry for the teams as.
Greg Cody seems to be making the argument that this is fixable, that this is redeemable, that this is a blip, that it's a bad season, that it's an aberration.
Yeah, I would not write him off at this moment. Okay, but I would also say he has a lot of proving to do in his 6th year, which is terrible. I remember when Ryan Tannehill was in his 7th season, and the narrative around him was, is he good enough? Is he the guy? And you don't want to be saying that in the 6th or 7th season, and we're doing it again with Tua.
Actually, you're the only one doing it. Everyone's out on him. Tannehill, actually,
Okay.
we were still having the conversation 6 and 7 seasons
Right, it was
in.
actually worse with Tannehill because we didn't know.
We were still wondering.
Where's he?
6
Bring
or
him
7
over.
Seasons in. This is crazy to think about. The idea that you're talking about the entirety of the 2000s so far. We're sitting here arguing about, well, maybe it's A.J. Feely. Like we're arguing for 25 years about do the Dolphins have a quarterback, and
Right.
the answer, except for one season, is no.
I want to play devil's advocate for Greg. The argument for keeping Tua is working with him, seeing if he can recapture some of that form, because it is pretty much a quarterback wasteland in terms of who's available. You have Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles injury is the best name. You have Sam Howell, who's played some starting quarterback in the league. In terms of trade targets, Kyler Murray is your best option over there.
That's a bum,
It's
too.
not
Jacoby
it's not
Brissett came off
great.
the couch, Mike, and they
Well,
have
Jacoby Brissett, if he were available, let's go.
He was on the
Brissett is
team.
So much better than
He was on the
Tua.
team
We've
a couple
done
years
that,
ago.
guys.
Again, with
Literally
Brissett?
done that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't better than
No, he wasn't better than that to us.
Right.
He's certainly better than this.
Right.
To us.
The thing that is also concerning to me, because you guys have heard me for practically 25 years say I don't understand how it is that the Dolphins keep drafting offensive linemen and can never block anybody.